there we are. Welcome to the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Mike Griffith, a Bakersfield, Californian motorsports writer. Been doing it for almost 40 years. I'm proud to say that. I've got Blake Bowser from Auto Club Famoso Raceway with me. I mean, he's here.
Down.
He's here. He's got to put his phone down. We're watching some pretty good videos he had. But rated G videos.
Rated G.
Rated
absolutely.
G. But a big weekend of racing nationally, internationally,
I got
and
Chris Crable
locally.
calling now.
So
Wanna
Chris
put Chris
Crable's
on the
calling.
show?
Yeah, we'll put Chris on.
Sorry.
So big Chris Crable, a funny car driver, is calling Blake. He wants to be on the show, without a doubt.
He's calling in.
But a pretty good weekend. Big races all over the place, including here. And we'll talk about Famoso and the other two tracks in later segments extensively. But
Nice big local weekend for all of us. Yeah.
So we got the America picture here, the America flag that
There you go.
we like there. And that we've been covering races since the early 1900s here at the Californian. Certainly not digitally like we're doing now, but we were covering races. I've got some clips from the 1913 era that's really interesting to read that stuff. We'll have the Fast Trip All-Area Motorsports team again this year for the second year running. Had about 50 drivers last year on it. Probably have about 40, 45 this year, added some more this weekend. So, and that's, I understand, I think that's going to publish on December 17th. So it gives us plenty of time to put it together. Saturday, a broadsheet, pretty good display. So we're going to have a oval track, dirt track, drag racing in it. So I think give the racers a little shout out there.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Good.
That was really good last year. So I know a lot of guys are excited to they're trying to make it this year.
Yeah, we've got a lot of guys that have made it, and there's still time to make it. So there's still some racing going on. Had NASCAR started its chase at Chicagoland Speedway on Sunday, and there's Kevin Harvick. He had to go to the back, start at the rear of the field here for his body didn't meet specs or something. So they sent him to the rear of the field, and within
That's called cheating.
25 laps, he was 8th. And unfortunately for Mr. Harvick, he went in and pitted under a green, and midway through the green flag stops, there's a tire came loose and rode onto the big grass area, and it stayed there for a little while, and then he decided to throw a caution. Well, it was right when Harvick was in the pits. Jimmy Johnson beat him to the pit exit start-finish line. Harvick was about 4 feet behind Johnson. Martin Truex Jr. was ahead of Harvick at the start-finish line on the racetrack.
So he falls a lap.
He fell a lap down.
Yeah.
Never got his lap back.
That's too bad.
Mile and a half track. Not a lot of yellows on it, and he was in the lucky dog all the time. Then Martin Truex Jr. had a problem. Went a lap down, and as soon as he went a lap down, apparently NASCAR threw a yellow for debris that had been on the track for several laps. Mr. Harvick left the races. He finished 20th. We'll get there, but he left the races without commenting to anybody, which was probably a very good thing.
Wise decision.
Wise decision. So anyway, we got the slide here. Martin Truex Jr. got the lucky dog, got his lap back, had a fast car, won the race. And so good way to start the chase. That means he's guaranteed.
Yeah.
He makes the next round.
Exactly.
Harvick finished 20th. Not so good. And that puts him 15th in the chase. Only Chris Buescher finished below him, or maybe 14th, but he's right in there. Buescher, Austin Dillon, Harvick, Tony Stewart. Those guys are now fighting for survival.
Of course, he's been before. He has to win to move on. He's done it before.
He doesn't have to win. Right now, he doesn't have to win.
Yeah.
He just has to not have
He has to survive.
a bad points day. And they go to New Hampshire this weekend, where he's run fairly well, but anything can happen, as we saw there.
Yeah.
And it's just totally bad luck that he's this far behind, and he's 23 points out of first now. Casey Mears had a horrible day, finished something like 6 laps down, 34th. He was just glad to get out of there. Not a fun day. And there's a slide with the all 16 contenders on there, and obviously that's not the way they're ranked right now.
Right.
But it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. It's a long way. Ryan Reed in the Xfinity Series was running fairly well in the top 10, right on the edge of the top 10. Got an incident with Kyle Larson, ended up into the wall, wrecked the car, finished 32nd, but this was the last race before the chase. So we got the slide here of all the chase drivers. So there's 12 drivers here in the Xfinity Series that start the chase this weekend at Kentucky. They're not racing at the same track as the Sprint Cup guys. And so Ryan Reed is 8th heading into the Xfinity Series chase. So
we got the Big Show chase. We got the Xfinity chase. We got the NHRA chase.
Got the
Everybody's
NHRA
chasing each
chase,
other.
yeah. And we have, Chris, why don't you go ahead and run these videos from the NHRA. Drag racing was at Charlotte.
Yes. 4-wide track, but they're running 2 wide that weekend.
Two wide, and John Force here facing Tommy Johnson Jr., and Tommy was the #1 qualifier. And the old dog, John Force, 16-time champion.
Yeah, that's a big win for Force Racing. They're going head-to-head with Schumacher, so that's a Schumacher car in the lane there, Tommy Johnson. So that's a big win for them.
That's a big win for them.
They're getting that Chevy figured out, too. To start off the year, I think was kind of goofy for them, but they're getting it figured out now.
Yeah, and then we had Anton Brown here against Doug Coletta.
That's probably going to be your 2 cars right there for the championship, I think. That's
top field final.
Right
These 2 have been stout all year long, and then Anton gets this. And it's just, and it was hot and humid and sticky and nasty there, and it really had the tuners. Why don't you pause this for a second, Chris, before the next video, and we can talk. In this top fuel issue, we were talking hot, humid, sticky.
Right.
First round, 5 of the chase qualifiers went down, and a lot of them, too, as we were talking, field fillers.
Yeah.
Guys making their first start, just showed up, got into the show because if there's
16 cars
there's 16 cars, and
Yeah.
if you can get down the track,
you're in.
You're going to get in the show.
Yeah.
They show up first round.
Right. And they're supposed to lay over, and they don't.
They don't lay over. They, they don't have the power. They're going down the track in 4 seconds.
Right.
Other guys are smoking tires, shaking the tires,
just overpowering the racetrack.
Overpowering the racetrack, and
that's why they don't race on paper.
Out first round, so a lot, and it continued to be in funny car too.
Yeah, yeah.
Some heavy hitters gone in that first round of competition. So we'll look to see where they continue racing.
It's the same deal. If you're in the chase, you just don't want to go out early. You know, you don't want to lose first round. That really gives you a lot to try and overcome. Yeah. So
and
same with Harvick and
for those guys who did not lose first round, they're looking back going, wow, that was pretty good.
Glad it wasn't me. Yeah.
So go ahead, and we've got the the next slide. I think is the next final was
and those
the
Jason
pro
Line
stock
and
Jason Line,
Greg Anderson. They're getting those Summit cars figured back out again.
Yeah,
they got lost there for a little while, and some of the guys kind of came around them. But
and here they are, 1-2 in the points, finishing 1-2 in this race. Jason Line, I think, now leads 50 points.
Well, they won like
Greg
the first
Anderson.
8 or 9 events of the year, maybe it was 10. Then they got kind of shuffled there for a bit. So
and this was the best race of the finals was here, and it's kind of Chris will start again, but the pro stock motorcycle race with Chip Ellis and Andrew Hines. And look at Ellis on that Harley, just gets him, and Hines had a hole shot there too, and Ellis got a win, and a big win for him, first win this year. So I think he was 5th coming into the chase, and Andrew Hines was leading because he was winning everything.
That'll tighten things up.
That'll tighten things up. So a good win for him there.
Should make for some nice races when they come out west too. They finish up. Last 2 are in Las Vegas and Pomona.
So
usually that points chase is just about decided about that time.
Yeah,
so
we hope to keep
for
it
sure
nice.
By Pomona.
We like it. We like doubt going into the last.
It's fun
it's
when you
always
go to
fun
Pomona
when there's always a couple
points chases to be
but
decided.
generally that's not the case. But we'll see. Up in Sonoma, the Indy cars ran their final race of the season,
didn't they?
Yeah, they ran late. Like late. 3:00 was the start. So waiting for things like a 3:00 start up in Sonoma. Simon Pagenaud had the lead coming in there, was on the pole. I didn't see all the race. He led all the race that I watched. He won the race, so he probably led every lap. There was no drama in this race. He ran away from it there.
It's a road course.
At Sonoma, and that was their final race and championship for him.
Yeah.
And then there was a race on the other side of the country. The Formula One went to Singapore, which is very interesting. A night race there, and all the skyscrapers in the background. Really a pretty cool looking shot from up high when they raced there in Singapore. And it was Nico Rosberg sat on the pole, and this race was, in a word, boring. Led all the laps, won. Lewis Hamilton, his teammates, now 2nd in points. He finished 4th, so that's your Formula One recap. And the Spears SRL Southwest Tour raced in Tucson, first ever race there Saturday night. Dan Holtz, who used to do a lot of racing at Mesa Inn back in the day, won the race. And Derek Thorne of Bakersfield had some trouble. His car wasn't all that good, and he ended up a lap down in 11th. So there you go.
Big weekend.
Big weekend.
Yeah.
We're going to be back in a minute with Blake to talk about the big weekend out at Auto Club Famoso Raceway. So hang in there.